Behind me here is the very latest Sunseeker Predator 75. Now this started life as the 74 XPS, and recently you may have seen our video on the Sport Yacht 75. Now this shares a very similar platform to that, but as you can see from this side view, this is the pure sports cruiser without a sports bridge on top. So we're going to have a complete look around the boat, show you everything there is to see. Let's go and take a closer look. Couple of stats first of all. It is 75 foot 8 inches long, 17 foot 8 inches wide, and it is powered by a pair of 1900 horsepower MEA engines for a top speed of up to 40 knots and a range of around 330 nautical miles at 21 knots. Now, this is one of the main differences over the previous 74 XPS. You can see we've got these artificial teak steps that have a bit more shape to them. You have a really thick size to them, and it has an extra deck around the bottom of this crew cabin and the tender garage in order to be able to move around when this big hydraulic platform is sunk down under the water. But let's just show you what is behind the tender garage. So the whole of this moulding, including the steps, lifts up. That is all done electronically, or probably hydraulically actually. And under here is the Williams. It is a Sportjet 395, really good size tender to have on board a yacht of this size, and you can see it tucks very neatly. It goes a long way forward, right up under the cockpit. But thanks to a slightly deflated tubes, it fits there no problem at all. There is also room for a jet ski on the bathing platform if you want to. It would of course mean it's relatively stern heavy, but it does mean you can carry a tender and a jet ski, or more to the point, keep it really nice and clean profile without interrupting the looks by having a big tender stuck on the stern here. Now you see there is a letterbox passerelle in here that will extend all the way out and reach to the dock when you're moored stern to. Good chunky cleats. Likewise up here, mooring gear with a winch to wheel it all in, and a special little locker for the tails of the rope that will just all stash away in there. Now we've got controls for the garage and the bathing platform here, as well as that Bessonzoni passerelle. Lovely big cockpit area, huge wrap of seating that goes all the way around the aft end. There is quite a neat little trick here, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to show you it from the other side actually, but first of all, take a quick look at this table, enormous carbon fibre table, and this is only the half of it because the whole thing does in fact slide over. If I push that across, then this end lifts up, if I can get my fingers in there, and folds over so that that will reach from end to end of that seating area and provide a really good size dining area for as many guests as you've got either staying on board or just for the day, because believe it or not, boats like this do get used as day boats too. Up here there is a huge extending sun awning, and that comes all the way out over this sunbed here so that this whole area can be shaded if it gets a bit too hot. Now some quite neat touches over here on the port side. First up, it's a dedicated shoe locker. Now, I really like things like this. Everybody has to take their shoes off. You've got to put them somewhere, and rather than just piling them into a basket, really nice to have a smart, dedicated cupboard with racks for the shoes in there. Under here, we've got the aft helm station. So again, when you're coming alongside in the Med, that is the perfect spot. You can stand there, control it all using that Aventix joystick. We've also actually got controls for the griddle and the ice maker under here. But let's show you those whilst we're here. Very smart wet bar, full length of this port cockpit. We've got the griddle that we saw the switch for earlier on. There is a relatively shallow sink there with a lift up tap. The reason that's quite shallow is because under here we have a fridge, as well as an ice maker and a bin. Just put that down as we found it. Right, what I was going to show you, might just be worth pointing out, under there we have got the battery switches, so as you come on board they're in the perfect place just to switch on and off. Now what I wanted to show you, we're just going to go around the other deck on this side. Oh, I can't do that of course because the steps are up, so let's do it this way after all. So if I close this up, slide that table back across this way, lift out this cushion here and this cushion here, this whole section of seating actually slides across. Pop that neatly in there, and now all of a sudden we've got access out to that starboard deck. Small thing, but it's just a very neat way of making sure you have access all the way around, but equally when you want a complete dinette station, you can fill in that gap and you haven't got that awkward space between the two sets of seating. Exactly the same arrangement here. Those are the steps that lead back down, obviously when the garage is closed. Exactly the same locker for rope tails, and then lovely wide and well protected side decks. Little bit of a cutout here just to improve views through the saloon window. Lovely flush glass along here. And this is a side access door from the helm to the side deck. Again, very useful when you're coming alongside or communicating with the crew. Big foredeck lounge. You can see we've got the structure for the sun canopy halfway up just to demonstrate that, but that will come over and create a lovely shaded area over this seating area here when you want to. Big teak table, that is fixed by the looks of things, so that's just enables you to sit around and have a drink up on the foredeck. Here we've got the sunbed themselves. This has a support for the backrest, so you can see this one we've got in the up position if you want to read a book. This one we've left in the down position, so you can see you can stretch out in comfort. Lockers for more covers, ropes, fenders, etc. on either side. Usual anchoring gear, good size windlass, lockers for access to chain and fenders and more lines. Nicely painted out, lots of space in there. And very similar back down the port side. Here you can get an idea of just how sleek and smooth and low profile the Predator is without that sports bridge effect on the Sport Yacht 75. Two-piece screen, get some impression of how big they are. Large wiper, one step down and back into the cockpit area. Now, one of the big features of these Predators and the Sport Yacht is this inside-outside feel. And the designers have done a really good job of opening that up. You can see there is a change in the floor style just to show you where the outside becomes the inside, but there is no level change. It's all on the same height, and these huge opening windows and doors that just create a really big opening. Now, we might be able to demonstrate closing that up if I can find the right switch. Here we go. So there is that window that slides up. It actually goes right the way below deck. You can just see it emerging from under the deck there. But that glides up into position. Really lovely, quiet motor actually. You can barely hear that happening at all. And then this section of door slides across. So you get the idea that it totally opens up when you want it to, but equally if you need to air condition it or heat it or keep it a little bit cozier at night, you can seal the whole area off. Second big seating space inside, slightly different fabric material, but very similar to keep that flow and feeling of almost blending into one big space rather than two separate ones. Similar carbon fiber table here with that beautiful stainless steel wrap around it. That is in coffee table mode, but that too opens up. I won't do it because there's a book on there, but you can see that does exactly the same. Lifts up, folds out, and then you can have a big indoor dining space. Sideboard on this side. Plenty of storage under there. And you can see there is a high-low television that rises out of there. Now, whilst we're here, it might be a good idea to talk about price because I have the full quotation for this specific boat in front of me here. Starting price from 3.285 million. This particular boat, with all the kit on it, it has got quite a lot, including stabilisers, 3.919 million. So pretty punchy pricing, but then pretty punchy boat, especially if you go for the big engines and have 40 knot potential. Bit more storage space under there, access to the DVD player by the looks of things. Helm station over on the starboard side forward. What I like about this is this little cosy seating area next to the helm station. Lovely place to sit underway. You are right under the windscreen and the sunroof overhead. You're next to your skipper. And on this size of boat, it's likely to be an owner-driver. There is a crew cabin, but most of the time you're probably going to be helming it yourself. So lovely to be able to have a kind of social group, a hub around that helm area. Bit more storage inside there. Lovely carbon fibre handle on that. And a couple of super smart Sunseeker branded Bessonzoni captain's chairs. Now these are fully adjustable. You can see you've got height, you've got fold down footrest, you've got reach adjustment. Really pucker pair of chairs and super smart Sunseeker branding just inset into that beautiful stitched leather. Very slick helm station, adjustable wheel just for tilt rather than reach, but very clean, very clear. Sensibly sighted throttles as close to the main helm chair as it can be. Joystick control, side power thrusters, bow and stern thrusters. And all the major controls, windscreen wipers, bilge pumps, etc., cleanly laid out right next to the wheel. Two big Simrad screens in front of you, the MAN engine system and information, and the side power, because we've got both those thrusters and those fin stabilizers. You can keep track of exactly what they're doing. Wireless charging for your phone, cup holders, USB socket. And here is that side exit, so literally right next to the helm station. Very easy to open that up, swing it out if you need a bit more ventilation or communicate with the crew. And then overhead, here is the sunroof. I might just be able to demonstrate that to you. Again, carbon fibre moulding, 6 huge panes of glass, and a really sizable opening. Now this is obviously one of the big wins. With the sport yacht, you don't get anything like as big an opening. It's mainly a sports bridge up there, so I think there is a relatively small skylight, but not this huge sunroof that you get on the Predator 75. I won't go all the way, but you can see exactly how big an opening that is. It totally opens up right over this seating area here and halfway back down the saloon. So certainly at the forward end of it, it feels very much like an open boat. But let me just give you a little bit of an impression from that back here. So that gives you an idea of just how big that opening is and how lovely it feels, certainly on a nice day. I'm just going to close that up so I don't forget. It is a one-touch button, which is very pleasing. So you don't have to keep your finger on it. It will just carry on wearing away whilst we continue with the tour. Steps down to the galley. Nice wide steps actually, and a little bit of a curve at the end. A few nice features on the way down. We've got a glass cupboard halfway down the stairs, a wine fridge right next to it, and then the galley itself, really nice size. And because you are under the windscreen here, if I just point the camera up, you can see how that all sits together with it. It means it is really nice and bright in here. In addition to the skylight, there's a sizable hull window with an opening port. You have got blinds there. All the kit you need. Dishwasher, oven, 4-ring induction hob, sink. There's a draining area in there. More storage space. Very smart cutlery drawer. And the chiller space is over on the other side, so right behind you. Good sized fridge and a couple of big freezer lockers underneath. Now let's go back down into the owner's cabin first of all. Another good cabin, another good locker even on this side, and a bit more under there. Looks like we've got the vacuum cleaner in there at the moment. And then the main event, a full beam master cabin, amidships, windows that stretch from end to end of the cabin, really good depth, opening porthole, lovely, very stylish bedhead that again stretches across the full beam of the boat, picking up this Sunseeker motif, these sort of angles and inset carbon fibre and stainless steel and lacquered surfaces. You'll see this motif appearing throughout the boat from on the profile, above the beds. It's a very clever way of kind of reinforcing that styling theme. Exactly the same full length hull window on the port side. Very stylish little breakfast dinette beneath it. It's even got the coffee and laid out there for you. Plenty of storage either side of the bed. Smart little reading lights. TV in the bulkhead opposite, so when you're lying in bed, you get a perfect view of the TV. Sideboard area on the starboard side with a built-in vanity station. Stool that pulls out from under there but tucks perfectly away. Lots of good storage. Full-length mirror. Hello. Bathroom on this side. Again, lots of mirrors all the way around it. Good sized shower compartment, overhead rain shower. All done in, not sure if that's natural stone, but it looks very like it. Slightly smaller hull window in there, but you can see you do get a decent amount of natural light. And over on the port side, a very respectable walk-in wardrobe. Just trying to see where the light for that is. I suspect it's probably over here. There we go. So there you can see walk-in wardrobe, hanging space over there, drawers and so on behind there, and even a rather nice little mini bar, so you can keep your own little stash of drinks in there, as well as a safe and so on. Proper luxury to have a separate walk-in wardrobe. Now moving forward through the lower deck, this is another feature I really like, having the galley on this side, right next to a breakfast dinette here. Big enough for probably 3 or 4 people to sit around there, but what a lovely spot. It means the whole of this area is nice and open. It doesn't feel remotely cramped. It's a big, sunny, open plan space with the cabins running off it. Now on the starboard side, we've got a twin cabin, and actually for a twin guest cabin, this is a really good space. Again, enormous amounts of headroom. I don't know if you can see above me there, but I can only just touch that ceiling above my head, and I'm 6'1", so really generous amount of space. It does drop a little bit. There's a change in floor level as you walk down and in ceiling level, but even at its lowest, there's still a good 6 inches above my head. Good size single beds, lovely big hull window, circular opening port, smaller TV set in the bulkhead, and ensuite access to bathroom. Now this is also the day head, so you can see there is a second entrance in there. I'll show you that when we go past it outside, but because of that, it's actually a really generous bathroom for a third twin cabin, especially that shower. Look at that. Really good shower for what is the smallest of the guest cabins. Even a little opening port in there. Now moving back out into that breakfast dinette area, that is the second access to the day heads I told you. So very easy for guests to come down those stairs and make use of that bathroom there. Now there's that motif again, I mentioned it earlier, but again, that angle, that inset carbon fibre lacquered surface, and TV on that bulkhead there. So when you are sat at this breakfast bar, again, you can watch the news in the morning, or even at night, actually, a rather cosy spot to tuck yourself away. But same high quality carbon fibre table, stainless steel wrapping. And then the forward VIP, surprisingly good floor space at the foot of the bed there. Again, it doesn't feel at all cramped. I know it is a 75-foot boat, but always good to see that your VIP guests have space as well as a high-end finish. There's that angle again, reflected in those stainless steel strips. Hanging wardrobe, smaller vanity unit there, but all nicely finished and decorated. That's another nice touch, just by the bed, inset stainless steel area for precious items, your phones, jewellery, watches, whatever. Even here, really good size hull windows. Lots of storage, eye level all the way around the bed. And exactly the same over on this side. TV in the bulkhead, yet again, another repeat of that motif. And of course, ensuite bathroom. Might just see if I can flick the light on in there. Another really good size bathroom. Angled across as the shape of the bow comes around and cuts in, but actually they've made full use of that space. Good size sink. Loo down here. And a shower compartment with those very smart little recessed LED lights. Right, flick that light off. Not sure I showed you just one more thing whilst we're down here. Really nicely done locker for all the crockery with its own little space, even for the salt and pepper holders. Right, a couple more spaces to show you. Let's have a quick look at the crew cabin and then we'll look down in the engine bay. Now, crew cabin is accessed from the bathing platform. Is that button there, I believe, if I can do this. Oh, there we go. Quite tricky, one-handed. Now that's a heavy door. Do need to watch ahead a little bit on that lip there, but drop down into the crew cabin. Now, this is not the largest of crew cabins, but don't forget that this is a 75-foot yacht that is likely to be helmed by the owner, and also it's absolutely rammed full of boat show gear. But you can see there is one bunk under there, one bunk on top here, TV on the bulkhead there, and a small bathroom, separate wet room down here. So nobody's pretending this is the largest of crew cabins, but the chances are it's not going to get used very often. So let's push that back down. That is a mighty weight of moulding. And let's have a quick look down in the engine room while we can. Here we go. Lift that up. Drop down here. Here we go. Relatively steep steel ladder down into the business end of the yacht. And here are those MAN V12s, 1900 horsepower each. Looks like they are on V drives because I can't see the shafts coming out the back, but I can see them going forward. So they are on V drives. That takes the drive forward and then reverses back down aft under the engines to the propellers. We've got a big Onan generator over there on the starboard side. You can just see the steering gear for the rudders. Not a lot of height over the engine here because that is the bottom of the tender garage. Bit more height over this one. We've got a water maker, in fact, perched up here, up above it. And here are those Sleipner hydraulics for the fins and the bow and stern thrusters. Right, let's emerge back out into the daylight and perhaps finish up on this lovely big cockpit. That is the latest Sunseeker Predator 75. I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look round. Do please let me know what you make of it in the comments, particularly whether you favour this model or the sport yacht. They're kind of two twins almost, if you like, one with that extra sports bridge, one with the larger sunroof and slightly sleeker lines. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Hugo Andreae. You've been watching Motorboat and Yachting. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.